back on the Elite server. Today we are going to work on the forest path. That is right. I think I'm just going to do some landscaping. I think that's the way to go, I think. Alright, cool. So I've got my little list up now. Let's just grab crud ton of dirt. Yeah, beautiful. And let's just dive straight into it. Alright, so today we are going to be trying to terraform the area around this path that we've done. We want to maybe get a creek, like a river style done in there. Plan out stuff like the bridges that are going to cross over that river. We're going to have like, you know, like there's the ravine section that we can mess around with. There's all sorts of stuff really. And then we can add like hills and sort of terraform the space. So yeah, I think I'm trying to think of how we're going to start this. It's sort of a big project that I need to sort of focus on in some sense. Oh, what was that? But yeah, I think the river, sort of want the river to flow potentially even from the farm space. I think, you know, I'm just gonna start here. I'm just gonna dig. And yeah, this is all gonna have to fill with water eventually, but that's the fun of designing rivers, right? Alright, so we're gonna start here. I don't know how deep I'm gonna go. I guess it sort of just depends on the space in. I could make it deeper at some points, shallower at others. You know, try and get that natural feel in. Which is gonna be tricky, definitely. It's just like I'm just going to ignore the hills and stuff like that for now. You know, that's a part of this project, is that I'm going to have to redesign some of the terraforming that's already been done. Because some of it has already been done, some of it has sort of just already been naturally there, so I'm just going to have to sort of think about how it integrates. A part of me when designing the border was sort of thinking that it's not it's not far enough out, but at the same time I don't want this to be a huge space, because otherwise it'll just feel too big for the village style that we're going for. So it's sort of about balancing it out a bit, and I think, you know, I think it's a good size. We can work with it, you know. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna run this river into this ravine. Yeah, into like so it's gonna, like, you know, run through here, down into this section, down into this section, down into that section, down into that section, and then off. And as you can see, this ravine is huge, and someone's been down there to explore it. Was that me? I can't remember if that was me. Might have been me. And then if I sort of just make like this bit, like a cove bit, so that it, you know, you can't, like, it almost looks like it's merging into it or something like that without it just being a dead end. If I just, you know, shape it a bit, I think that'll be good. So we like that. I like the cliffy parts here. It makes more sense. And what I'm doing is I'm keeping these white like these grass blocks, because a part of this path is that eventually I'll have little posts and sort of other little things that are here, like, you know, cascaded ruins of sorts. Wear and tear. Call it wear and tear. Let's take away that and open this up a bit more. Alrighty, and now this is where sort of the tricky part comes in. This mountain's probably going to be a pain in the butt. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. Just means that I have to like try and figure out a way that this cascades a bit better. That's a bit nicer. I actually don't mind that. That's sort of working. Alrighty, I'm back and may have gotten ahead of myself. I've now connected it up to the ocean part. It's going under a couple of paths, so we'll have a couple of bridges set up. In fact, I have some stone. Hold up. Just need to just mark these out a bit more. Like so. Cool. Yeah, and so I've gone ahead and I've just done pretty much the whole entire river for this side. It goes, I think it's really cool. The path is windy, so it sort of makes for some really cool bridges and moments in the path. So yeah, so we have a river going down, and we've got this one as well that I need to fill in. So that's about there-ish. And then that one goes into the ravine, and that's directly across from the other one, which also goes into the ravine. As if there's some sort of ley lines in the earth or something like that which line up. And then yeah, and then we have that original one that we worked on, so it's all done. I also over here I added more of a flatter cascade into this part of the river, just because it sort of felt a little bit too peaky for the whole thing. So I sort of just decided to do that, give it a bit more shape. And now looking at it, I might have to trim back this a bit so that it flows a little nicer. Yeah, that's a bit better. That's a bit nicer. So that'll flow a bit more, and then once we put in some boulders and stuff like that, we can make some patches in here, and that should be a-okay. But yeah, so I've just gone ahead and I've done, yeah, pretty much that whole entire river. Now, I did have a really interesting idea with the river, and that is that that one's coming from nowhere. This one's coming from the ocean. That's absolutely fine. That makes sense. But I want to connect that to, or I say connect, it won't literally connect, it will theoretically connect. I'm going to make another river over here, and I think we're going to have that river sort of going through here, or actually, you know what, I probably won't grab it from the ocean. I'll keep that for the building. What I might do is I might create a river that comes through the gate here, pretending like it comes from somewhere out there. It'll come through here, and it will connect up to the farm areas and have the same shape as if it's going through the farms into that other section, and making that river continue and continue. Some point in the future, I might go underground, and I might make like an actual cool like underground cave of that river flowing under. That might be really cool to do, but not right now. Would it go into my hand first, or, well, I guess we'll see. Oh yeah, it went into my shovel first. Beautiful. Alright, cool. I'll let that go now, and that should be okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, it goes into your offhand first. I was pretty sure that was the case. We could maybe make a hill here. Maybe a tiny hill. Bit more of a raise, perhaps. Like, I'm just thinking, right? Because if we have sort of like a raise here, for example. So we can sort of follow the shape of the riverside area until we get to sort of this space. And you know, like just adding a little bit of depth to it. Like, I think, you know, we could probably create some nice hill space here. And then slowly sort of make its way to 1, 2, 3 maybe. No, we don't want that. I think that's quite a nice little shape, and you know, I think we need to like add some extra depth in here. I won't have too many rises because a lot of rises happen near the village. A lot of this space in the forest areas, I think I'm going to mainly do dips. And as much as this one's going to be a pain in the butt, I don't want to make these rises hollow. Purely because if we do build stuff in the future, I want it to feel more natural than not. So I'm not making these hollow because it's going to be a little bit of a pain to do anything in the future if we make it hollow and need to redesign or whatever. It's a lot easier to chip away than it is build up. So yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and fill this in. Alrighty, so I've just gone ahead and done that. That's all filled in, and I like it. You know, it's something simple, but it's effective. And I think I'm gonna like, you know, flatten out this little area. We'll sort of work it, but before we do that, I think I'm just gonna go and find a couple of other flat spots and just lay out the mountains, or mountains. These mounds. We'll call them mounds. Sort of hills. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna lace them out just to get a decent idea of where I want some stuff, and yeah, we'll be back when I've got those. I think one right here, it would probably work nicely, right against the building. It sort of breaks up between some of the buildings and the open area into this path of the section, so I think that'll work quite nicely. Just to break it up a little bit more, I think one right here would work nicely too. I think, you know, that one's right there, and I think that'll just make it a little bit more exclusive as we come into this forest, just to break it up. So that should be nice. I think one right here would probably work really well. We have the hill going up there anyways, and I think this base probably wouldn't benefit from a ditch, since there's a ditch like right here as it goes down. So I feel like building up a little bit here might just give this a bit more depth when we're walking around this path, especially with this lower section. It'll feel a bit more natural. I think one right here would actually be quite nice. It's a bit of an odd shape, but I sort of like it, because if we cascade from this mountain and then go back up a little bit here, it's just going to, you know, just have a bit of a peak there. We're on a narrow strip, and then we've got the massive down, so I think that'll just add like a little bit more of, once again, just flow to this section instead of being so flat. I think this one's quite nice too, just because this is such a massive flat area. Whilst craters could work, this is going to have like a underground sort of style thing, which will sort of go down and probably past the border. But I'm just thinking, because we're going to have like some sort of path here, potentially some sort of opening to get through, just having this is sort of going to create this area a bit more exclusive to that open area right there. So I'm probably going to make this one nice and tall, maybe even mix it in with that mountain even. We'll see how that goes. This one, just a nice little small one, just to sort of keep that, because I've terraformed that as just a massive mound, which does float with the next bit. I needed to float with this bit though, and the fact that this then goes cascading into the river, so I think a nice little hill here will sort of be able to do that. I think this space where we've put our barrels is probably going to benefit from it too. Once again, just the river being there, we need something sort of high here just to make it feel a bit more natural. First building is going to go here, so it's going to almost feel like it's the first building that's possible in this space. It'll also give the farm a bit more of a back in and put it more in a valley, which will be more realistic for the farms as well. So yeah, alrighty, and another one here I think will be nice, just because this is a nice flat area. I'm thinking I might do like a down bit here and then another up there, sort of just cascading, well, I say cascading, but this will probably go up because you've got the river. Don't know what's going to happen with that, but that's going to be buildings quite often, so it probably makes more sense to form this side. So this side it's going up. I might go down a bit there, so I might make like a triangular down here, and then that way it goes up here and has a nice space here for other trees and areas, just boulders, whatever. We'll figure that one out. Alright, now we've sort of come full circle, and I think that's pretty decent. Obviously it's not enough depth yet. We will be digging down and making more crevices and stuff like that, but just for the bits that we're rising up, I think that's pretty darn good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go around, I'm going to fill them in, I'm going to try and form them a bit more, and then we can come back and see how it looks. So yeah, I'll be back. Alrighty, that's pretty much it, except for the big one over there. So this one turned out really nicely. I really like how this one turned out. It adds a bit more of an extension to that hill, makes it doesn't feel like it's just for that building. And then yeah, if we come around, we'll see some of the others. I'll sort of just run through and give you guys a bit of a look at some of the hills that we've done. So yeah, so we come through here and we've got, there's that one I added, going up to the farm, so that looks a lot nicer. It's so natural, I completely forgot it was there. And there's this one looks a bit odd, but once I put in the dig downs, the valley, because it'll come down here and go through down here, I reckon that'll look a lot better. Obviously we've got the one that we did before all of the others as a test, and I love this one because it just adds a little bit more depth to that area. Coming around to here, we've filled in this one, which along with that one makes this really nice and makes the path sort of make sense. And once we fill this in with boulders and trees, it's gonna really shape how this, this path comes along. And so this one I actually extended. It was just that, but I've gone ahead and attached it to this because something just wasn't feeling right, and once I did this, it just feels a lot better. It adds more emphasis to the hole being there, and it really just lets this strip be a bit more flowing with the rest of the hills. And then come up here, we added this one, and once again I sort of extended this a little bit just so that it fits in a bit more. It comes around, it's a bit flatter than the others, and it flows in so that it comes down and back up. I might dig another little section in here just to emphasize the down there. The other thing that I'm thinking with this one is I'm not sure if I'm going to put trees on top, or the other idea that I had was with the cliff here, do a massive stone sort of arch, as if it's been like a massive, mountain that's eroded over time and sort of made an arch there. I'm thinking that might be a really cool feature to add. It might just add a little bit more emphasis, and with the community cove and everything like that there, the mountain has lost a bit of its largeness in some sense because of the buildings, so I feel like adding something like that might just add an extra detail to that section, which makes everything tie in together nicely. So I'm feeling like that might be the way. Now if we come through here, we only had the we only had the one connector one over here, and then we can cut through back to the others. So if we come through here, we've got just over here. Come on. Speed kicking. Yeah, we've got this one right here, and it was very minimal, but it just does so much. Without that there, it was such a clear view. Now it feels like this mountain's actually running through here, and actually creating this valley, which is a lot nicer. I really enjoy it. It adds a little bit more seclusivity. I've decided I will connect it to the mountain. I feel like this is going to be such a nice addition. It's just going to round off my base to this sort of community area. It'll give ourselves like a nice little section here. Feeling like we could put an archway here, sort of like an entrance, or we could, just somehow design it with another building. We could put something in here. We could put a building inside. Yeah, it's giving me a lot of options. And originally I was going to do an underground thing this way and potentially that way. I'm feeling like it's actually now going to be a lot better if I dig into here and go down that way, and that way everything underground this way is going to be going that way and not run into any of my base or anything like that, which I think is going to be a lot nicer. I think it's going to make a lot more sense as well, having more of a cavey entrance, and considering our village is literally made of cavey entrances, it makes a lot of sense. So I think this is all good, and I feel like I just need to really finish this off because it's so close to having a design. I also realize that this has a very raggedy sort of style going up here. It goes quite up quite quickly, so it had an in, and I thought, let's use that in and let's try and make like a crevice into the build here. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I might just round it out, but I want to give it an attempt, just so that we can, see if we can match it and make it look nice. I'd say that is, yeah, maybe make this a bit more creviced. Ooh, yes, there it is. I'm liking that. I think that's nice. That just gives it like an extra sort of detail in the valley. Yeah, I think that's nice. Look, that's sort of working. I don't like that block for some reason. Don't like that. I feel like this is just going to keep on happening. That's better. Yeah, it's nicer. Now that's going to look like it's off, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's going to keep on looking like it's off until you have double side on both. Yep. Makes sense. Alright, cool. Yeah, it definitely, it's looking good, I think. I think we've got the ID down. It's working, it's nice, and it comes up to this peak. And if we just shape this peak a little bit more, like that, I feel like that's gonna look nicer. Yeah, awesome. That's looking nice. Awesome. Well, I think that's gonna be this little section, and I think that might just be the episode. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the terrain today with the river and these hills, getting them in just to make it look a little bit nicer. 100% I think I'm going to make this more of a valley. It could even be like a pond or a lake to just brighten this area up. I mean, we've got that, so maybe not. Maybe just to create a style. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will come back to this 100%. There'll be more videos. We'll get that river filled in. We'll do some of the crevices and stuff like that, and valleys, and we'll just start getting the shape of this outer land into place, and once we've gotten that into place, we can start decorating, which is going to be probably the most fun. I'll be decorating with structures first, and trying to plan structures, and then we can go on to doing our custom trees, the boulders, etc, etc. And we'll sort of plan them out, or try and plan them out. That way it's not going to clash with anything. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like the video and subscribe for more content. I know I don't post too many videos, I sort of just do them here and there, but, you know, I love posting up these games and stuff like that, and occasionally you might just get a burst of videos, which is great. If you guys have any suggestions for other games or anything, please leave a suggestion down in the comment. I'm always happy to look for new games and experience new games, because, you know, it's not always fun doing the same old thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, Minecraft has a lot of creativity, but there are some times where, you know, you just don't feel like playing Minecraft. So yeah, please leave some suggestions down in the comments, and follow for more. Anyways, that's an episode. Thank you guys. ShadowArchR out. Bye.